the representative of His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Honorable Minister of Education and National Orientation, the special guest of honor and former President of the Federal Republic, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, former Vice Presidents here present, Your Excellencies, former and current governors here present, Your Excellency, the author of the book we are here to unveil today, Alhaji Sule Lamido, Royal Fathers here today, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I stand on the established protocol. It is a unique honor and privilege to be asked by the former President or former Head of State of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, to represent him at this event. I welcome you all to this on behalf of the designated Chairman, General Abdul Salami Abubakar, who is unavoidably absent, although he wished to be here personally and who requested me to represent him. I don't know whether he requested me or directed me to represent him. A special welcome to the special guest of honor and all the excellencies gathered here today for sparing the time to be here to participate in the unveiling of this remarkable autobiography, Being True to Myself, written by a distinguished, passionate and patriotic Nigerian, an elder statesman in his own right, an iconic and indefatigable advocate of the poor masses, from the NEPU PRP tradition, and, dare I say, the late Malam Aminu Kano's school of thought of radical politics in northern Nigeria. Today, we witness and welcome another valuable addition to the growing list of books written by key players and actors in Nigerian politics and governance spaces. In this regard, by a person who has virtually seen it all and done it all since the Second Republic. As a member of the House of Representatives, 1979 to 83, as a chairman of a political party at the state level and secretary at the national federal level under the General Babangida Transition to Civil Rule Program, and as a foreign minister and subsequently as a governor in the Fourth Republic. Without preempting the book reviewer, I venture to say that in this book, Alhaji Sule Lamido has tried to say it all, forthrightly and passionately. As good autobiographies are expected to do, he has given us, the readers, a rich personal account of his life, offering us a unique perspective on his background, experiences, challenges, triumphs, and post-facto reflections and analysis. Being True to Myself is full of insights and wisdom, as the author navigated his childhood memories, career path, life trajectory, and personal lessons from his private and public relationships and life experiences. Indeed, as the title suggests, in reading the book, Sule Lamido comes across as genuine, authentic, and honest in conveying his thoughts and feelings in a simple, though not simplistic way. Indeed, in being true to himself. Alhaji Sule Lamido deserves commendation for this courageous effort of putting pen to paper in the tedious process of producing a book worthy of the name, which adds remarkable value to our understanding of not only his background and experiences, but also to our enriched understanding of the dynamics as well as the trial and tribulations of politics and governance in Nigeria. It is my hope that in the points of view it conveys, in the facts it presents, or some people may say misrepresents, in the controversies, if any, it may generate, being true to myself would inspire many other actors and activists in the Nigerian political and governance spaces to also write and publish more books, which would enable us as citizens to have clearer understanding of what is the true nature and character of our politics and governance, what the key challenges are requiring serious attention, and how best to collectively apply our energies and resourcefulness to addressing these. We all have a role to play to forge unity, engender peaceful coexistence, and contribute to progress and development in our country, Nigeria. The better informed we are, the better the chances of our collective contribution towards sustainable socio-economic development in our country. Once again, on behalf of the designated chairman, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, I welcome you all, special guests of honor, your excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to this public presentation of Being True to Myself, written by Alhaji Sule Lamido. I wish us all an exciting event and fruitful public presentation of the book. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Your Royal Highnesses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and the author. Master of ceremony, I thank you, but you shouldn't have gone all that long way that you have gone. You have said that as you more or less concluded that I was almost as radical as Sule Lamido, or Sule Lamido was almost as radical as myself. You will have said it all. And thank you very much. Sule, I don't know why you have to bring me here again. I thought after I've written the foreword to the magnificent work and book that you have written, you will have excused me from any other ordeal. But being who you are, insistent, persistent, you got me here, even though I had to cut short my event abroad, looking into the issue of DRC, Democratic Republic of the Congo. As the representative of the chairman has said, I learned a lot about you when I read the book to write the foreword. Particularly your upbringing and your childhood, which was, for me, very instructive. But I didn't know you in the days of NAPU and the successor party to NAPU. We came to know ourselves when we came to be in government together. And now did our path cross. The chairman of our party rightly, I believe, has an idea of who the vice president should be. I also have an idea of who the vice president should be. We try to reconcile our two ideas, and we settled. And when we settled, we decided that my candidate will be the vice president and the chairman's candidate will be the foreign minister. I don't know what you are clapping for. But that is the truth. But then the chairman's candidate, who we agreed to be the foreign minister, declined. And then the choice of Sule Lamido as foreign minister became my responsibility because I saw him as the closest, or one of the closest, person to the person who had declined to be the foreign minister. And Sule himself said to me, because when he met, after he had become foreign minister, I will come back to that, I met the British foreign minister, Secretary of State, I think they call them, Honorable Cook. Honorable Cook asked Sule, before your president made you foreign minister, how long has he known you? And Sule, his usual conduct, well, that I don't know, well, if he has known me, I haven't known him. And Honorable Cook said he made you foreign minister without knowing you. Either he's a crazy fool or a very clever guy. Well, it's now up to Sule Lamido to choose which one I was. Sule Lamido has admirable character, and I admire him. When I appointed the ministers, because I did not want a situation where a minister would do something wrong, and I would want to say, look, Mr. Minister, thank you, you can go. And there would be problem. I said all my ministers should give me undated letters of resignation. Sule Lamido came to me and said, you appointed me, and I did not ask you to appoint me. You think I will fall? You appointed me, and I didn't ask you to appoint me. But any day you find me unworthy of the assignment you have given me, give me 5 minutes, I will give you my letter of resignation. But please, excuse me from giving you undated letter of resignation. I acceded to his request, and of course, he didn't have to give me a letter of resignation, and I had no cause to ask him to give a letter of resignation. But I want to emphasize the difficulty or the difficult situation that we were. To remember, Nigeria had become a pariah state. So we had a lot to do both inside and outside. Of course, the inside has to be good for us to be able to have the right impact outside. But Sule Lamido was the agent of the outside. And anytime he went out, I wanted to know what the reaction was, what impact we were making, how we were changing or not changing the impression of the outsiders about Nigeria. And Sule did such a magnificent job, such a magnificent job. Such a magnificent job that within 3 years of our coming to government, the Queen of Britain and the Queen of the Commonwealth actually came to Nigeria to participate in the choco that we had. And that was actually the greatest indication that we had now been accepted, no matter what the past was, that we have now been accepted by the international community, in Africa, in the Commonwealth, in the United Nations, and everywhere. Sule, I thanked you at that time, but on this occasion, again, I will thank you for the great job that you did. Well, Sule left, and I left later. And Sule became a governor. Again, Sule didn't allow me to rest. I had to visit. And I visited you more than one occasion. And on each occasion, you made me see what you were doing. You made me go around. And we discussed not only the issues pertaining to your state alone, but the issues pertaining to Nigeria, and indeed to the job you had before, foreign affairs. Again, as a result of my regular visit to you, I could say without any shred of doubt that you performed adequately as a governor. So, of course, it's no difficulty for me to write it forward. Well, what should I say at this point? As the representative of the chairman said, you are now an elder statesman in your own right. I think what I would say is the young shall grow. And the young is growing. For in fact, the young has grown. But then your job is not finished. Because the Nigeria that you and I were working for, we haven't got there. And I believe it's the responsibility and the duty of all of us to make sure that we get the Nigeria of our dream. That lies the continuation of your work and the continuation of all the elders and all the former colleagues that are here. Our job is not finished until it is finished. Thank you.
Reviewing a book of almost 500 pages is not an easy task, especially as it relates to an equally complex human being like Sule Lamido. So whatever I present to you today is basically an appetizer, and also to encourage you to read the book. It's a big book but when you start reading, you can hardly drop it. The book, Being True to Myself, is an autobiography that chronicles the life and times of Sule Lamido. Sule offers us an insight into his childhood in Bamaina village, that is in Jigawa State, his basic schooling in Birnin Kudu and Barewa College Zaria, his working life and rich political career. Bamaina, where Sule was born in 1948, was a small agricultural village inhabited by Fulani cattle rearers. His father and uncle were the administrative and spiritual leaders of the village. This conferred on Sule a privileged status as a village prince. As he puts it in the book, I was born into a life of affluence, but I grew up with a tenacious sense of empathy towards the less privileged. This aristocratic cattle rearer was fortunate to escape the bleak life of cattle rearing when the then Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi, forced his father to enroll him in Western education schools, first in Birnin Kudu and later Balua College Zaria. This began the transformation of Sule Lamido from a village prince with a narrow world of view to a pan-Nigerian nationalist. Mixing with Nigerians from different backgrounds, particularly in Barewa College, and teachers from outside Nigeria, young Sule expanded his view of the world. After Barewa College, Sule entered the University of the World, first as a railway engineer. Sule, when you read the book, you will understand this engineer Sule. Later, as a police recruit, a tobacco salesman, and finally, as a seller of sweets. Those of you who are old enough to remember Trevor, which was produced by Chris Leb. These jobs took Sule to various Nigerian towns: Zaria, Bauchi, Maiduguri, Lagos, and back to Kano. Life in these towns offers Sule real-life education. He related to people of different ethnic and cultural nationalities, different economic status, and different political orientations. Interestingly, it is in Lagos where he shared a building with staunch Nepo stalwarts, Malan Lawan Dambazao, Audu Dambarnu, and Alhaji Zama Gashwa, that Sule first encountered Nepo ideas and political philosophy. As fate will have it, when Chris Leb authorities posted Sule back to Kano, he again shared quarters with Nepo activists. This began Sule's journey into politics. As of then, Northern Nigerian politics was dominated by Northern People's Congress, controlled by people of aristocratic pedigree. One would have expected Sule, who was a village aristocrat, to join the MPC. But the chance encounters with Nepo activists activated his childhood tenacious sense of empathy towards the less privileged. Hence, Sule later joined the offshoot of Nepo, the People's Redemption Party, and became one of its prominent leaders. Sule quickly worked his way from local party organization to an elected member of the House of Representatives on the PRP platform. Sule was attracted to Nepo PRP principles of justice, fairness, human dignity, and respect for human rights. This has remained the cornerstone of his politics. Character of Sule. The Nepo philosophy of social justice, and Islamic upbringing, Sule believes strongly in his own Islamic teaching, underpins Sule's character in thought and in practice. Apart from his fierce and eloquent defense of the underprivileged, Sule courageously and fearlessly stands up against what and those he perceives as oppressors and tyrants. Only Sule could tell a powerful Inspector General of Police to his face, "Who are you?" Only Sule could boldly tell a military president to his face, "Sir, you must resign and leave office." Only Sule will refuse to sign a post-dated letter of resignation, a precondition for serving as a foreign minister under General Obasanjo. It is this same courageous and principled character that Sule took to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where he bluntly refused to be dictated to by both the American Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, and Robin Cook, the British Foreign Minister. Sule took on powerful ministers from both emerging and Western nations and insisted that debt forgiveness must be included in a community at their meeting. They caved in and they included the issue of debt forgiveness, which was the cornerstone of the Obasanjo administration. Back to domestic politics. Sule Lamido presents a passionate account of our collective struggles against military dictatorship. From a nucleus of 9 patriotic Nigerians that opposed General Abacha, Sule remained an active participant as the group grew to 18, to 34, and later midwife the People's Democratic Party, the party that eased out the military and stabilized democratic rule between 1999 and 2015. As I said, in all this, Sule suffered for his beliefs. He was detained, traumatized, and subjected to indignities by both General Abacha and later President Goodluck Jonathan. And of course, Sule never gave in. He stood firm. After several attempts to govern Jigawa, Sule was finally sworn in as the governor of Jigawa State in 2007, a poor rural state badly managed by his predecessor. Once sworn in, Sule assembled both the elite and non-elite of the state. Given his background, he paid special attention to the ordinary people, the Talakawa. As he put it, he tapped their powers during and after the Talakawa summit, which he hosted. Sule maintained direct day-to-day communication because he made his telephone available to everybody in the state and answered nearly every text message and call. Sule maintained direct day-to-day communication with farmers, peasants, fishermen, weavers, maternity assistants, and unemployed people. Every reader of the book should pay special attention to the accounts of the traditional birth attendant, the shoemaker, the weaver, and the carpenter on pages 319 to 322. They are very, very interesting accounts which castigates with the elites and suggests how they feel they should be governed. Sule built roads, a modern airport, primary and secondary schools, a university, healthcare centers, and hospitals. A big school of nursing, because when Sule took over, there were only 15 indigenous nurses in Jigawa State. So he had to build a very big nursing school. He gave special attention to agriculture by educating farmers, providing machineries and inputs, and improving the relationship between herdsmen and farmers in Jigawa State. Sule concludes by pulling together several issues discussed in the book, with particular focus on the challenges of today's democracy. To Sule Lamido, the tyranny and greed of today's leaders is at the fulcrum of democratic failures, both in the political parties, local governments, the states, and the nation as a whole. Sule divides the period 1999 to date into two: the PDP era and the APC era. The PDP era is presented as the era of democratic consolidation and development. He states that the APC era of 2015 to date is a disaster to the nation. Nigerians are therefore asked to choose between these two. In personal encounters with people of power, Sule Lamido spoke and continues to speak truth to power. In domestic and foreign affairs, Lamido remains true to himself. There is so much to learn from this humble villager, courageous agitator for the oppressed, steadfast governor of the poor and hungry, principled, humorous, and patriotic Nigerian. The book is a must-read for both rulers and the ruled. I thank Sule very much for asking me to present this short review, and I want to also request Sule to do us a favor. He has 2 more books to present to us. A more detailed account of his service as foreign minister. That was a little bit too sketchy in the book. And also a comprehensive compendium of his achievements in Jigawa State. Nigerians need to know more on what you did and how you did it, so that many other young governors can emulate what you did and you continue to do for the people of Nigeria. Thank you very much for listening, and may God bless you all.
Alhaji Lamido, as we all know, is an accomplished politician and public servant who served as Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister between 1999 and 2003, and then went on to become the elected governor of Jigawa State between 2007 and 2015. He also happens to be one of the most experienced Nigerian politicians around, having served as a member of the House of Representatives in the Second Republic and the National Secretary of the Social Democratic Party during the sadly aborted Third Republic. His wealth of knowledge and experience is definitely an asset that ought to be shared with the world, and it is heartwarming that he has gone ahead to do this in his book. Serious and intentional documentation is a critical part of nation building, and every new book from a Nigerian political actor is to be welcomed, to be read, and to be debated. This is not merely the unveiling of a book, it is the celebration of a life defined by courage, consistency, commitment to democratic ideals, etc. Alhaji Sule Lamido, though a staunch member of the political opposition and often a critic of the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, remains one of the strong pillars of Nigeria's political evolution. His story is deeply intertwined with our nation's history, his struggles, his setbacks, and his triumphs. Politics, when practiced in the best interest of the people, is not war. It is not enmity. It is a contest of ideas. And while we may differ in our approaches or the platforms we represent, we are ultimately bound by our shared desire to see that Nigeria progresses and prospers. This is where Alhaji Sule Lamido comes in handy. Let me state that as a true democrat, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to creating a political culture where respect triumphs over rancor, and where every citizen, regardless of party affiliation, has a seat at the table of national discourse. Of course, there will be those who will disagree with the content of Alhaji Lamido's book, but that is the nature of biographies and autobiographies. They represent a person's unique recollections and recounting of situations, but it is also a cue into the future and what they think is their own account of happenings during their time. By the author's own admission, it has not been an easy journey. This book took a better part of the last decade, from start to finish. It is heartwarming that all that effort has now paid off, and there is a book to be launched, to be distributed, to be read, and to be debated. The memorable title, Being True to Myself, aptly reflects the man Sule Lamido and his reputation as a principled but blunt politician and statesman. I have to say that this is the kind of title that one will expect from a bold and irrepressible politician like Alhaji Sule Lamido. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot take this stage at such a high-profile and well-attended event without seizing the opportunity to highlight some of the very many accomplishments of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom I am representing today. Especially considering that in about 2 weeks from now, we will mark the 26th anniversary of Nigeria's enduring Fourth Republic, as well as the second anniversary of the very consequential and impactful presidency of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We are commemorating 2 years of bold and ambitious reforms, projects, and initiatives, all designed to lay an enduring foundation for national prosperity. Are we saying that there are no challenges? Not at all. What we are saying is very simple, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has demonstrated an uncommon audacity and vision to set Nigeria on the path of true growth and development. After a somewhat rocky start, owing to the toughness of the inevitable reforms that he has embarked upon, we are now entering an era of intended beneficial outcomes underlined by macroeconomic stability. Have there been some pains accompanying these efforts? Of course, yes. The President himself will be the first to agree, but he remains resolute in his commitment to introducing programs and policies to alleviate these pains and make life better for all Nigerians. Take the example of the tax bills, which will hopefully be signed any moment. This is intended to grow our revenues, not just for the federal government, but also for the subnationals, while also taking care not to impose additional burden on all taxpayers. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the kind of president who pull off the seemingly impossible at all times for the benefit of all Nigerians. I will close by saying that President Tinubu welcomes constructive criticisms at all times. Of course, we have seen that come to play all the time. This is in the spirit of the freedom of speech and democratic engagement. But he will also never allow himself to be distracted from doing what is right for Nigeria. On that foundation of what is right, we'll build a country that will work for everyone, regardless of age, creed, gender, religious, or political affiliation. This is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope is all about. He is a man who, like the author himself and the celebrant, always true to himself and true to the most important ideals of this great country of ours. Justice, truth, peace, and shared prosperity will continue to be his watchwords. This is of course, the message of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And on this note, I will recommend this book to students, to scholars, to journalists, and to fellow politicians who will find this instructive in many ways. I thank you for your kind attention, and I once again congratulate the irrepressible Alhaji Sule Lamido for this literary milestone. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you very much. That's the Minister of Information and National Orientation on behalf of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because of lack of time, there are so many people who would have loved to present or launch the book, but only 2 people have been asked to do on behalf of all the others. Dr. Benga Hashim, a former presidential candidate, and His Excellency Dr. Peter Obi. These 2 gentlemen will be invited to also present the book.
Let me very respectfully stand on all the existing protocols. Mine, I think it was a balancing that my father-in-law did, because actually the author is my father-in-law. Whenever I say, people will wonder how. While he was in Kanu as the area manager of SC Chrysler, my father-in-law was in Lagos as the area manager of SC Chrysler. So they are Chrysler family. And I know I bought a property in Lagos as a trader from SC Chrysler. So that's my connection with him as a trader, not as a politician. Thank you for trying to enrich us with your book and everything. And it's good that people write so that we can learn a lot of experience, because what I've learned from you is quite deep. And it's one man who made me to travel all the way into Jigawa. When I came to Jigawa to meet him, I said, I'm in the capital. He said, he's in his village. I must come to the village. And I drove from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. at night into the village. And I can say Jigawa is safe. Your Excellencies, the traditional ruler and the chairman of council, thank you for the good work. I have nothing to launch. All I can say is that my humble contribution is already in your account, because you gave us the account number, and I've paid my own. So you will see it there. I can't launch when my leaders are here, but you will see it. Once you leave here and open the account, you will see that the book is there. I will also buy some for the universities, various universities, which that will come separately from my launching today. Because we need students in school to read about people like you who have walked the journey. So you don't think, oh, you just leave school, you become governor, or you become president. There's a journey to it. Thank you, and God bless you.
Your Excellency, the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum and the governor of Gombe State, former Senate President, the chairman of the Wakajian, our royal father of the day, His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto, ably represented by the Emir of Hadija, the chairman of Jigawa State Council of Chiefs, Your Royal Highness, the emirs here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today's occasion is a Jigawa occasion. And as the former governor of Jigawa State, is somebody we cherish and is somebody we respect. He's an elder statesman who laid a very good foundation for the growth and development of Jigawa State. We thank you very much for that. Therefore, for this, on behalf of the government of Jigawa State, we are purchasing 50 copies of this book at the cost of 50 million naira. Thank you very much.
Former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellency, the President, represented by the Minister for Information, our dear Excellencies, the former Vice Presidents, distinguished
former Senate presidents that are here present, there are quite a number, former speakers that are here present, Your Excellencies, the former governors who are here present, our leaders who are here. The protocols are indeed too many that I will take your time. Indeed, because there is no time, what I wanted to say about him will be cut short. We were quite good friends when we were in government. We had our bad times that we disagreed. I made the mistake of assuming that he was as radical as I was. So he was one of the governors I clinged to when it came to radical decisions. And I will tell you one of the things. There were several things that happened in course of our friendship. The last one, before we broke ranks, was that we agreed, all of us agreed to go against President Goodluck Jonathan. And we formed a committee, governors and all that. At the end of the day, he was to find a new party called SDP. We said if we go to the new party called SDP, we will lose the election. Let's hang on to this one called APC. He disagreed and he left us. That's the only place we disagreed. Now, I will tell you what happened again. One day morning I called him as a friend. I have been asked to be chairman of Governors Forum. He said, God forbid, you can never be chairman of Governors Forum. And I said, why? He said to me, you are too radical to be Governors Forum chairman. You can never be Governors Forum chairman. Again, I told him, I said, whether you like it or not, I will win. And I won. I became Governors Forum chairman. He indeed spoiled me a lot. He was one of the instruments that made me Governors Forum chairman a second term. And I will tell you, when there was huge disagreement about voting, he led us to go and vote. He didn't mind if the other group walked away. If he didn't stand up to vote, maybe that day we would not have voted. Because he stood up to vote, the rest of us went ahead and voted. And the other people, led by Abadio, also joined to vote. At the end of the day, to their surprise, I won and became Governors Forum chairman a second time. The final one I will tell you, I visited him in his state. He asked me to come and commission projects, so I came. The School of Nursing you're talking about. And I repeat, I am yet to see if any governor has surpassed your achievement in Jigawa. I've told you in private, and I have told my friends from Jigawa, maybe they will surpass you in future. For now, I doubt if any. So we went to commission project. I was so scared of Boko Haram. And then I had a good security outfit in River State. So I told them I'm going to Jigawa. They moved in an APC to Jigawa. They moved in 2 white men to Jigawa. They moved in some vehicles with security outfits, everything. He said, you're coming to Jigawa with this. Are you a president? I'm calling President Goodluck Jonathan to report you that you want to be president of Nigeria. I said, look, don't report me to the president. I'm just scared that they will finish us here. He said, nobody will finish. I said, I doubt you. This man took me in a crowd of over 1,000 persons, and we were walking. And I said to God, this man wants to kill me. Supposing there's a Boko Haram person here with a bomb that wants to kill all of us. He said, these are his people. At the end of the day, we commissioned the School of Nursing. The only thing I enjoyed that day was I was able to sleep in a quiet place in your guest house. And if I said I didn't enjoy it, and the rest, I visited you more than 3 or 4 times whenever you invited me. I thank you for that. I thank you for the fact that you spoiled a lot of my decisions as Governors Forum chairman. Because yes, you are radical. You thought you were not as radical as we were. But we discussed Nigeria in detail, and we thought we should move forward as a country. I asked you this morning, what is going on currently now in Nigerian politics? Could it have happened when we were governor? The answer is no. And you said no. We will confront the government. We will confront the president. You know that. That's how radical we were. That's how our Governors Forum was. That's how determined we were to change things. But I don't have to be forgetting that. I wish you the best. I will make my contribution to you privately as 2 radicals. I shall announce it. No, they will think I have money. God bless.
Assalamu alaikum. All men of gratitude goes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his endless bounties and blessings for sparing our lives to see this day. I can never find enough words to express my profound gratitude to my boss, my political raider, President Obasanjo, for what he's done to me and continues doing. Evidence of his love, trust, and confidence in me is clearly manifest in the inspiring foreword he wrote for this book and his physical presence at the lunch today. Baba, I sincerely and profoundly thank you. May God Almighty endow and bless you with abundant health, wisdom, joy, and well-being. I'm grateful to General Abubakar for so many reasons. Though not here physically, he has been a source of pride to me and many Nigerians for his professional truthfulness and service to our nation. His words is always his bond. Besides, Abu Salami has never turned down my request on any matter. His instantaneous acceptance to serve as chairman of today's occasion is a veritable testament to my assertion of the generous appreciation of my worth in his eyes. Unfortunately, he is held up in London. He appointed a worthy representative in the name of Professor Jega, a distinguished public servant and scholar who did a superb job as chairman of the occasion. I don't necessarily have to thank my friend, or are you my servant, the Munchiman, who reviewed the book, Professor Ayu. Dr. Ayu, I don't my head for you for the comradeship and all the trials and tribulations we both shared these years. Being true to myself could never seen the light of the day, but for the patience, resilience, tenacity, and remarkable tolerance of the able and terrible team who sometimes have to live up with my continuous restless and agitated disposition of moving or replacing this aspect of the book's narrative or that which I felt was more appropriate. Professor Nouman Habib, Dr. Samaila, and Musa Habib, I thank you very much. On said note, our friend and leader of this particular team, Professor Wakili, died before the book is completed. May his soul rest in peace. The powerful organizing committee, comprising a very versatile, dynamic, knowledgeable, and untiring and dedicated persons, has done a wonderful job. They've been very assiduous for several months, which has resulted in the resounding success we have all witnessed here today. The media subcommittee have been apt in steering such a nationwide buzz, which seems to have tickled many compatriots and made them eager to read for themselves what being true to myself could entail. My gratitude to your excellencies, your highnesses, and other brothers and sisters together here for finding time to be here with me. Before I end my remarks, I would like to appeal to the President, President Tinubu, to close the chapter of June 12th. In his book, General Babangida revealed that Abiola won the election. He said that. When I went to him, he said that Abiola, the election was killed because Abiola was being owed 45 billion naira. And therefore, he became the president, was going to pay himself the money. So it means Abiola is being doubly punished. Denies his own presidency and also his own money. So please, tell the president, please let him pay to Abiola family the money for which he has been suffering, for which he has been denied his own presidency, 45 billion naira. It's very, very important. When this money is paid, that will be closed. I thank you very much.
You will come down? Okay.
The chairman of this occasion, former President Obasanjo, representative of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have just been drafted to do this. So let me express my great pleasure in unveiling this book